Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Caden and today I'm going to tell you guys how I added $200,000 to my net worth at only 22 years old with just only 1 year of real estate investing. So this all started back in June of 2020, so right in the middle of the pandemic. My fiance and I were pregnant by about 3 months at this point, and 6 months prior, me and my fiance had just barely finished paying off all the debt that we had. So we had at this point also already kind of started to mingle in the stock market a little bit, and I had been doing some trading here and there. But me and my fiance, we both really knew that we wanted to stop renting and we wanted to get into real estate investing. So with a baby on the way and no more than $15,000 to our names, including our retirement accounts, we started looking for houses. Now when we started shopping for a house, we didn't just go with the first home that we laid our eyes on and liked. No, instead we went looking for below market deals in really high value, nice neighborhoods. And now the reason I did this is because a nice neighborhood attracts good tenants, and with me wanting to eventually rent out the property in the future, having a good, nice neighborhood is always important. Now at the time in the area that I was living in, the market was about $190 a square foot average for most single family property homes, including townhomes as well. And we wanted to come in about $10 to $15 below that if possible. So we really looked around for quite some time and really didn't see anything that really caught our eye or that stood out as such a really good deal, or that didn't have too much work involved with it, even though it was in the price point that we were looking for. Until one day when I was on a drive and I saw a billboard for some brand new detached townhomes in a really nice neighborhood. And when I say really nice neighborhood, I mean lots of really brand new homes, and some of them being over $1 million. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about so you kind of know the neighborhood I'm speaking here. So right here you can see on Zillow.com you have a couple of houses back here that don't have their pictures on there yet because it is such a brand new neighborhood. Like I was saying, these are just newly built homes. I mean, $1 million here, all these getting close to $1 million, if not right around that $1 million mark. There's just a lot of super nice homes out here in this area, right? So knowing the area where they were being built, I was definitely interested in going and taking a look at these townhomes and to see kind of where they came in. So I wound up getting a hold of the builder and scheduling a time to go out and view the model with my fiance. Now, to our surprise, the townhomes were actually super nice. They had a really great floor plan, really super nice appliances, and again, it was a really great neighborhood, and they were even planning on building a school right nearby these townhomes, which, you know, a school is actually kind of a helping point in real estate. A lot of the times being near a school or a church, depending on your state, can start to raise your property values. So that was actually like another benefit going for this property, right? So at this point I was expecting these townhomes to be either at market value or even higher than market value given the area with the school, a nice playground they're going to put in. I'm thinking these things are going to be way too expensive and it's just going to be kind of a waste of time. Well, I've never been happier to be wrong in my entire life. And in fact, we wound up purchasing one of these townhomes. So let me show you my actual contract, my actual purchasing documents, so you see the kind of deal we were able to get. So right up here in this this corner, I had to hide some of my information up above, so it's kind of cut off. But you can see the sales price was $278,850, and these townhomes were 1,950 square feet. So the math on that, just some division, the sales price divided by the square footage, that gives you $143 a square foot. That's $37 below what the average market price was at the time, and 26% below the market value, essentially, is what that equates to. Well below what we wanted to come in under. Well, we were only wanting to be $10 to $15 below market average. And this was for a brand spanking new townhome. Like, we wouldn't have to do anything. It was all super modern, super beautiful. In fact, let me just show you the Matterport scan on it and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So right here you can see this is actually the Matterport scan of the property, and you can see just how nice it really is inside and the kind of area. In fact, if you come over here, you can see the school back there in the backyard. So, you know, it's a really nice home, a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,950 square foot townhome, and it is detached and has a 2-car garage. This was a great deal, and we both recognized that. So we went as quickly as we could to our lender, got our pre-approval letter for an FHA loan, and that way we would only have to put down 3.5% because we really didn't have a whole lot of money back then. So for us, we wanted to try and get into this thing as cheap as possible, and an FHA loan was definitely the best way for us to do that. And with that 3.5% down, that equated to around $10,000 that we needed to actually put down on the property. And then on top of that, we wound up having to write out a deposit check for around another $1,000. So I kid you not, like from the time that we actually saw the model home to the time that I got the approval letter and I got the deposit and everything down for the home, I tried to do that within a week. And I think I even did it faster than a week. And that's the thing, you gotta be quick on these deals when they show up, because other investors, other retail buyers as well are looking for these good deals. And so if you wanna grab them, you gotta make sure that you're fast, and it's actually more beneficial if you have a pre-approval letter in hand. Now for me, this was kind of out of the blue and we had only just been shopping, so I didn't have my pre-approval letter, but it is suggested that you have a pre-approval letter in your hand when you are starting to get ready to actually try and buy a house. So now that we were going under contract on this home, now it was time for me and my fiance to literally hustle and try to make as much money as possible, so that way we wouldn't have to touch our IRA, because that was the last thing we wanted to do, is have to make an early withdrawal and take penalties on our IRA and everything like that, where we're investing in stocks. And we really didn't have enough money. We needed about $10,000 and we didn't have that. I think we had to save right around $6K still at this time. So during these 4 months, me and my fiance, we literally busted our butts every night. Even after our regular job, we would go out and we'd drive for DoorDash or Uber or Postmates. Anything that we could do to go make some extra money, we would do it. I mean, I at this time was even still doing some stock trading like I was mentioning before, but in a cash account on top of that with a little bit of money. I was also flipping cars on Facebook. I'd find below market deals, buy the car, and then resell it at a higher value. Looking back on it, I think it was definitely the hardest that I've ever had to hustle in my whole life to make $6,000. But I mean, we had to make $6,000 in 4 months, so that's over $1,000 a month that we were having to try and just come up with now to be able to afford the down payment and closing costs on this home. But the whole time being able to go and see the actual house being built, and I'll put some pictures here on screen in the editing so that way you can see the house's progression photos. Being able to go and see the house being built gave us that wind in our back to actually keep on pushing and keep on going and try making more and more and more money. And just like that, 4 months came and 4 months went, and we wound up saving enough money. So the day was November 5th, 2020, and it was the day that all of our hard work was finally going to pay off, and I was going to get to sign my closing documents. And I can still just remember how excited I was that day that I was gonna go sign these closing documents, and literally just by putting my name on some paper, I was going to increase my net worth by $100,000. And I mean, I hadn't even lived in the house yet. Now, if you're confused on how that worked, let me hurry and kind of show you here on the screen how I made that $100,000, okay? So the market value in my area was around $194 a square foot at the time of actually signing and closing on this deal. And I bought my home for $143 a square foot. So now what you do is you actually take the home size of 1,950 square feet, and with some quick multiplication on both of these figures, you're going to have your price that the market averages, and then you'll have your price at which I purchased it for at $143 a square foot. Now all you do is subtract those two figures, and what you have left over is your positive equity. So literally all that work that we did to hustle and grind to make that extra $6,000 paid itself back more than tenfold in just the day that I went and signed these closing documents. So now fast forward to present day, we've been living here for a year, and the market value has gone up even more since when we actually purchased it. In fact, I'll show you another comp of a smaller version of my home that was actually built 1 year before mine by the same builder and is in the same community as mine. And so in this comp, you can see right here that we're right about $248 a square foot. So now if you take my home size times the market value that this listing is indicating of $248 a square foot, that leaves us at a price of $483,600. Now that is literally $204,750 above what my sales price was. And since then, I've also been making my mortgage payment every month, so I actually have a little bit more positive equity in it than that. So overall, this house, just by owning it and living in it, has increased my net worth by over $200,000 already. And it doesn't even stop there. Now that it's been a full year and I've met my obligation for my FHA loan requirements to live there for at least a year, I can move out of the property, buy a new home, and rent out this home to somebody else. And that is exactly what I'm doing. In fact, just 2 days ago, I wound up actually signing a lease for 2 years on this property, and the tenant is planned to move in February 1st of next year. So not only will this give me more passive income, but it also means that somebody else will actually be paying off my investment for me here going forward, while I'm able to secure another investment property and we can kind of start to repeat the process. It basically turns this house though into a giant money printer to my net worth. It just is going to keep printing net worth for me. And it's going to do that in a couple of ways that I'll hurry to explain. So the first way that it's going to do that is something called cash flow. Now cash flow is essentially if you take what you're going to get for rent and you minus off what your expenses are for the property every month. You know, your mortgage, your HOA, if you have any utility payments, anything that you estimate for maintenance on the actual property. So you take those two figures and you subtract all the expenses from your actual rental income, and what you're left with is what we call cash flow. It's basically just the profit out of the actual rent itself. Second to cash flow, all the money that's actually going towards my mortgage from the rent is mortgage payments I don't have to make that directly increase the equity in the home for me. So all of that is just chiseling away and adding more and more money to my net worth every month. Third is actually appreciation. On average, the housing market appreciates about 2% a year. In the last couple of years, we've seen much more dramatic increases in the housing market with COVID and everything like that. But usually you get about 2% per year. But anyway, any extra gain that I actually get out of the home's appreciation, that goes straight to my net worth as well. And then the fourth way that it still makes you even more money is all the tax benefits you get. I mean, you're able to write off things like maintenance, property taxes. You can write off your mortgage interest. You can write off your operating expenses. You can appreciate it out. There's so many things that you can do as far as the tax benefits that come along with real estate. So real estate really does offer you 4 different ways that you're making money just off of the property. And while this is all going on, you were able to go and take advantage of something like me, where originally I was getting a $278,000 asset, and I was able to go and take control of it for only around $10,000. Now, the leverage factor on that is huge. I mean, that's literally like 27 times leverage right there that you're able to get, and it's a very, very secure way of having leverage. Now, if you're familiar with the stock market, you can kind of relate that back to options. It's almost like having an option in a way. And that is what makes real estate cool for building wealth, is that you get that same awesome effect of leverage to be able to build wealth really, really fast with very little money, honestly. But there's so much less risk involved, especially when you compare it to something like using margin or leverage in stocks. So there you have it, guys. That is my story of how I added over $200,000 to my net worth at 22 years old. Please like the video if you enjoyed the story, or if you picked up any education along the way. I try to make sure to leave a little bit of educational content in there for you guys. And also, if you'd like to see more real estate investing content, I'd be happy to make a video on any of the topics that you leave down below, or any of the specific details that you might want to know about this deal I outlined. Not to mention, I'm really excited as now I'm working on my second real estate deal, which I plan to reveal on the channel very, very soon. So with all that in mind, don't forget to subscribe down below if you're interested in more real estate investing content, more stocks content, more crypto content, anything personal finance or investing related. It's going to be on this channel, and you're going to be part of an awesome community that's trying to build wealth, right? So until next time, guys, peace.